Like small potatoes, Thanos.
Yeah, it's like half of all life. Hold my robotic beer, you know. Yeah. Hey, Internet! It's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. We're here talking about What If? Season 1, Episode 8. What if Ultron won? Bum, bum, bum. We open with the Watcher overlooking a post-apocalyptic landscape as he says that this story breaks his heart. So you're like, oh, this one's... He's been watching terrible things happen pretty much all his life. But this one's like, uh-oh, this is the one. So you're like, all right, that's interesting.
And, it makes me more curious, but what point did it break his heart?
Right.
You know,
right.
Is he saying it's after everything is over, or when he was like, wait, what? Huh? What?
So Hawkeye and Black Widow are fighting off legions of Ultron minion bots, trying to find a way to beat Ultron. Because we know in this reality, he won. We end with the Watcher meeting up with our sinister Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, saying, I can't believe I'm saying this. I need your help. Right. Boom. So the Watcher asks for Doctor Strange's help. Yes. So I assume that's going to lead into gather up the team. We got to defeat Ultron in the finale. Paul, before we launch into anything else, what did you think of Episode 8?
I liked it. It was an enjoyable episode. What I primarily liked is that we got basically everything started to happen. You're realizing, okay, this is the overarching story that it's going to be. So fine, yay!
It did have that narrative feel to it, I really liked this episode a lot. I thought a lot happens in it. As I was trying to just catalog like the sequence of events, they packed a lot into 25 minutes. It was a little surprising to see Ultron this episode, because a lot of folks, I think us included, assume that given the number of Gamora scenes in the trailers, that there was going to be a Gamora-centric episode at some point. And then, she's one of the cast of characters they pull in to defeat Ultron. And she still probably is one of the cast of characters they pull in to defeat Ultron. But she didn't have a Gamora-centric episode first.
No.
So, but I kind of prefer this actually, because I was worried that they were going to try to give us the problem and the solution in one episode, which would be like, ugh. Now you did an episode with the problem, and now you get a whole nother episode with a solution. So I think that's a good way to go with it. And Iron Man dies again.
Yes, he does.
You killed Tony! You bastards! Man, he dies so often in these shows.
Yes, he does. He's just,
I keep waiting for it now.
You think maybe they didn't like the fact that he decided not to continue with this?
This is over your head, Robert Downey Jr.
You're done with these Marvel movies. You're finished. Okay.
Oh, then we're done with you. What if Tony Stark never existed, huh? All right, anyway, yeah. So he dies again. So I'm hoping that somehow they throw in one last death in the final episode. That'd be pretty funny. It's been a fun recurring gag. It does seem like we're headed for this team up. Sinister Doctor Strange is going to go and pull these folks together, and we get the idea, because we saw the purpose of Black Widow and Hawkeye's mission was to try to find his way to defeat Ultron. They find Zola, our Hydra scientist, take his program, and they're going to use it as a virus, try to upload it into Ultron to have him destroy Ultron. Well, the little problem was they successfully inject Zola into a minion bot, but because our Ultravision, we're going to call him whatever, is not in this universe, he's in the multiverse, they can't connect. So I feel like one of the plans, if they can all get together and talk, will be, hey, how do we lure Ultravision back to the reality where he got things started so we can upload the Zola virus? Although I wonder, will Zola hurt or help him? I assume that's the point. It's like, it'll destroy him, but maybe Zola takes over and it's like, check it out. Now I'm Ultravision Zola Man. I don't know. They're relying a lot on Zola kind of doing the right thing, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it's sort of like, oh, okay, and of course this ancient technology, that's going to stop this, more advanced technology. No, it'll work.
Oh, good point. Good point. Yeah.
But it's the same sort of thinking, I guess, that in Independence Day, like this Macintosh can infect this alien technology. This will work.
That was the wackiest. Really? Yeah. Does that have literally 1% chance of working? Okay, it worked. We do see the Watcher interfere, so no salt licorice required, Paul. I know you were worried about that.
Yes, now I can sleep.
So at the end, the Watcher is almost defeated by Ultravision is maybe the most powerful villain we've seen in the MCU. Maybe Kang, I don't know if Kang, but anyway, Ultravision's very powerful.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, Ultravision with the Infinity Gauntlet, yeah. Or I guess he is actually an Infinity Gauntlet.
He's his own Infinity Gauntlet, yeah. And so he's on the verge of defeating the Watcher, who obviously has powers of his own. Well done, Watcher. And the Watcher escapes by going into that little pocket reality of Doctor Strange's. Which is, I think that's a cool little callback to that, because he obviously saw Doctor Strange create that pocket reality.
Yeah.
And then probably thinking to himself, you know what? It's probably a good place to hide, right? Like it's probably off the grid, so to speak. That Ultravision would have a hard time finding me in this other division. So sounds like a good reason to go there.
Sure.
And then he also requests.
I guess a similar thought is Loki, right?
Yeah.
Let me go, to these places where obliteration is about to happen.
Right on the verge of the apocalypse.
Yeah. So it's like most of the people in that universe, I guess, are already dead. So it's like Doctor Strange killed most of them. So really, I'm sure Ultron will get around to that one eventually.
It's like a little singularity, basically.
He's like, this. Is everyone dead? No, there's that one guy in that one universe. Let me go there and kill Doctor Strange.
And interestingly, just to show the power level dynamic, Doctor Strange, our sinister Doctor Strange, is the only other entity that can perceive the Watcher, at least that we've seen.
That we've seen so far, yeah.
So Ultravision and Doctor Strange, not to say that they're equal powers, because I don't think they are. I think Ultravision's up here with the stones, but
sure.
It shows a certain level of power that Sinister Strange has. Yeah, so that initial sequence in the post-apocalyptic world, you've got Winter Soldier armed Hawkeye.
Oh yeah, right.
I like the trick arrows. They spent some good time on that. I liked some of the ways that the arrow effects worked.
Oh, okay.
I like the one where he set up the force field based on like shooting the little like, whoop. Anyway,
yeah.
I like that. And so kind of in reversal of Endgame, we see Natasha has to, try to hold on to Hawkeye, and then Hawkeye sacrifices himself, falling to his death to save the multiverse.
Yes, in a dramatic flip. Like, oh, you killed yourself last time in the other universe, so I'll kill myself in this one.
My turn. My tag.
Yep.
And Natasha finds the Red Guardian shield, so a nice little tie into the Black Widow movie. It's a funny scene with Thanos arriving to get the Mind Stone, only to be immediately cut in half. I thought that was pretty effective storytelling as well, in that obviously they wanted to have Ultravision get the stones. Instead of another montage, he goes to the montage of defeating all the worlds. Instead of another montage of let me acquire the stones, it's like, oh, who's got all the stones? Thanos. What if he just shows up to get the Mind Stone, as he did, and then you just kill him instead? Oh, got him. So it was like nice, fast.
Yes, it's certainly fast. I don't know if it, stands up to. It's like, oh,
they underpowered Thanos in that moment, right?
Yeah.
Thanos was kind of, he's got a lot of stones. And he was kind of stupid, right? He didn't send anyone in.
It's like Vision. Maybe Vision wasn't as powerful in Infinity War as Vision plus Ultron, so he couldn't just cut him in half.
Right. They dropped the intelligence of Thanos by a factor of 5, and we're like, okay. Also, obviously, Ultravision with the stones. much more of a threat than Thanos
yes.
with the stones. Maybe just
Yes.
because of what he wants to do with them, right? I suppose the half of all life thing was just because Thanos wanted to do half of all life. It was like, that's the limit.
That small potatoes, Thanos.
Yeah, it's like half of all life. Hold my robotic beer, you know. I'll destroy all the life in all the multiverses.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed that they didn't do more of a Lex Luthor in Superman 2, where it's like, I've conquered the world. I'm bored now.
He wept
that
where there were no
Ultron
more
world
to
destroyed
conquer.
everyone in that universe, and then he was just sort of like, doo-doo-doo. Oh, so, if the Watcher just shut up, Uatu would just shut up for a bit.
The Watchers, maybe that's part of the reason that it's breaking the Watcher's heart, because the Watcher feels kind of responsible. Like, oh, he heard me.
Maybe.
And then he's like, wait, there's a multiverse.
It's like, at what point would he have had the, Joshua War Games moment where the only winning move is not to play?
Is not to play. Shall we play a game? Plus, does the Watcher lives in a hallway? Like, what is? It's like he just views you can see every facet of the multiverse, but he's basically in a shelving unit.
Yes,
it's like, oh man,
exactly.
You'd like to think that that's like how he spends an hour a day, and then he leaves, and he's got like, oh, this palatial place. I don't know. Anyway. But no,
it's like, these universes. No, I'd rather be in this closet.
Ultron was built to peace in our time, or whatever. His idea of peace is just kill every living thing.
Yes.
Everything's peaceful. It reminds me a little bit of one of the original Star Trek episodes, Nomad.
Oh,
you remember that one?
No, I don't remember that one.
There was like a satellite that was like peace on Earth, and then it collided with another satellite that was like kill everything, whatever. So it's like must get peace by killing everything. And then this is how you defeat Ultravision. You get Kirk, I don't know, Tony Stark comes in, and he has to just basically go, hey, you're destroying all these people because they're imperfect, but you are actually imperfect because you're the one that's doing all the killing, so then you must kill yourself, and then he ends up killing himself, and then he's destroyed. There you go. There
you go. That's how
solve it the old-fashioned Star Trek way.
See, once he pulls in Spider-Man into this fight, he'll be like, hey, did you guys see that episode of Star Trek?
Right.
And that's what
that old space show with the ships.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, I was going to do
for a teenager, he has a lot of old man taste.
Old man taste. Well, I was going to do the logic problem with the ship of Theseus, but if you think I should do this one, all right, we'll do the Star Trek logic problem. Another example of Ultravision's power is he basically pulls a Galactus, right? He's like, eating a planet. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's just power levels off the charts.
Yes.
Kills Captain Marvel. That was an odd scene. I didn't understand exactly how he pulled that off. She's about to kill him, and then he says, like, I already killed you. I thought maybe he used the time.
Yeah, it was some weird thing that he did. Just putting her in a place where he would have more power to kill her. I don't know.
Gotcha. And the fight between the Watcher and Ultravision, they're breaking through the realities.
Right.
Kind of reminded me a little bit of it's not everybody's or maybe anybody's favorite MCU movie, but Thor 2, when they're breaking through realities as they're fighting, is kind of a similar thing. But it looked cool.
Sure. If it's your favorite movie, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, good point. Who's a champion of Thor 2? Hawkeye had a Harry Potter cloak. I like that too. I was like, whoa, very nice. Invisotech. It seems possible in the MCU. They should be bringing that up more.
Sure, yeah.
If you got it, use it. Any sign of the TVA? Is this if they have anything to say about Ultravision just taking over and destroying everything and killing the multiverse?
Right, exactly.
They'd show up some point. Maybe they did and they just killed them. I don't know.
That's a good question.
TVA, oddly silent. It was a little disappointing that James Spader didn't voice Ultravision.
Yeah.
Because his voice is so unique, you can tell when it's not him, right? I mean, the guy did a fine job, but it was just like, it's not James Spader.
Right, it's not James Spader, and I would have been fine with Paul Bettany too, but no,
Oh, good point. Right. Use Jarvis if you wanted to. Yeah. If you could get that actor instead, go for it. Yeah.
But no, they chose the Red Skull
The Red Skrull. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So they'll get everybody together, figure out a way to lure Ultravision back to the reality where he can be uploaded with the Zola virus.
I think you're probably right that it's likely that they'll conclude it, although I'm hoping that they don't. I'd rather have some sort of,
heck, even if they conclude it, he's already done so much damage.
They might get rid of him. Yeah, that's true. They might get rid of him and then just have to deal with the aftermath, and that'll be fine too.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Owatu's version of Suicide Squad, where he gets all these misfits or whatever together.
Yeah, it feels very.
But what happens
Squad-y.
after that? Is it? I mean, I think you can make an argument that it's like. Everything I was doing before then was fine. It's just when somebody starts jumping around and causing too much trouble. Once I end that, then I'm not going to be involved again. That's the only time.
I'm going back to watching.
Now, everybody go back now to where you're supposed to be before.
You guys are watchers out there. You stay watching. I'll watch. It could be that, maybe it's just the amount of damage that's already been done. Like, it's kind of like that multiversal war that they talk about. From before. It's not the multiversal war, but in other words, it's like a version of that where the multiverse has been so fractured at this point that everything can come through and around, and
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if you wanted to, I'm still not clear on what the end game is here or here or in the MCU with everything
Loki,
in
right?
the multiverse. Loki and the multiverse of madness. Where they're going exactly, it's like I think the theory is sound that this is how they get the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. But it's in terms of like, are all these universes supposed to help each other get back to where they were before the terrible events? Will we get a hint of any of these things in the movies? I can imagine seeing characters from this, but. Will they acknowledge some multi-universal fight in the...
the multiversal fight, maybe not. But, like, obviously in Spider-Man, we've got a whole, you've got Doc Ock.
Right, they're going to have their own, their own, crushing of the things. But, are we going to see any examples of this, Ultron thing going on?
Right. I guess I don't know that. Yeah, you're right. You take your pick. You can go... the way that Loki broke the multiverse. You can go the way that the What If show broke the multiverse, or you can go the way that apparently in Spider-Man they're going to break the multiverse there. Just take your pick. How do you want it? We just want Wolverine.
I think it's likely that. I think I was always accepting that the Loki was the cause. And Spider-Man was the result, right? Like the symptom of it. Nothing in there causing that to happen. But, I guess no. I guess there's some debate over whether, like, when the Hulk used the Infinity Stone, whether that is the sort of tangential thing, the part that sort of started it. Who knows? Maybe that's the. But, if there's so many potential to get, to have the stories interweave, I don't know if they will actually.
It feels like such a monumental type of thing. Like, you broke the multiverse, that it should just be like one thing did it, as opposed to I don't know, like a dozen things did it. Yeah, that's fine. Which one are you from? Oh, okay, yeah. So anyway, we'll see how this all works out. But I am interested to see
together.
How this finale works out. As you say, I feel like it probably will leave something like a cliffhanger of some type for a season 2. And also, does it? Let's say that go to season 2. Are we now? Is that this cast of characters? We stay with them now? It kind of would limit the show. I think if you did that, I think you almost want to go back out to like What If, and it keeps exploring, and then maybe each season is like find all these things and bring them together. I don't know. Interesting to know.
Once they've complete, once they complete this, it'll be interesting to see if they just go back to the way it was before. Here's another interesting little thing that happened.
Right.
And, who knows?
Yeah. I guess I prefer the narrative, obviously, but yeah. So how do you?
Yeah,
know.
I feel like you would need to. Maybe the story then will just be sort of like here's another example of a world that was torn apart, and how they're trying to get things back together. Maybe with the help of somebody from another.
Right. Okay, yeah. So we'll have to see how that works out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, just definitely an improvement on what I thought was last week's episode. And I liked it. I liked it a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they wrap this up in the finale. So thank you, Paul. Appreciate it,
You're
good
welcome.
sir.
Sure.
And goodbye to everybody out there. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.